Good Monday morning. Welcome back to Breakfast Television. Quick look at Dundas Square right there in downtown Toronto. And let's talk about Bridgette Lacquette. Now, she is the first First Nations hockey player to be named to Canada's national women's team. And Sportsnet's Tara Slone had the opportunity to sit down with Bridgette for an interview. Tara, I know these stories are very special to you, and you put a lot of pride into these. And Bridgette is just someone who is super talented and very down to earth. Good morning to you. It's good to see you. It's been a while.
Yeah, good morning to you. Nice to see you from afar. You know, we got to know Bridgette a little bit over the years, actually, on Rogers Hometown Hockey, but she joined us most recently when we were in Dauphin, Manitoba a couple of years ago. Always a pleasure to talk to her. You know, part of what we talked about, of course, was hockey. You have to touch upon that. She's an Olympic silver medalist, and it's been about 15 months without competition. So we talked about the PWHPA Dream Gap Tour stop that was in Calgary in May. A thrill, a relief to all the women who got to hit the ice. But of course, there were some really emotional aspects to our conversation. Bridgette is very affected by the discovery of those little bodies at the Kamloops Residential School. She's an auntie to little nieces and nephews, and her grandparents are residential school survivors. So it continues to really hit her hard from a generational aspect. But really, most of what we talked about is how proud Bridgette is to be an Indigenous woman and to express that to the world.
Yeah, let's take a look at the first little bit of this conversation, kind of getting into the hockey world of it.
As your ascent in hockey continues, so does your voice. How seriously do you take your position as a role model? You asked me this a few years ago. I didn't take it that seriously because I didn't realize the impact that I had. But, you know, following the Olympics and being able to share my story and be comfortable sharing my story was very important. When I was younger and facing the racial taunts on the ice, I could choose to take the path of being, you know, embarrassed of who I am and just like quiet and not having a voice in this. But you know, I want it known out there that, you know, the First Nation, Indigenous people, you know, it's awesome. I love that I'm Indigenous. I love that I'm First Nation.
It's so cool. There's a clip that stands out to me that I saw about her parents at Pyeongchang Olympics there being proud, and they're saying someone like us to be here with our daughter, you know, and it just sticks in my mind so much, and how proud they are, their family, and just of being able to achieve things like that. And now going on to magazine covers.
Right. I mean, it's been really amazing to watch Bridgette sort of take on this role, using her platform, using her voice in a very strong way. But yes, she's found herself in kind of an unconventional way.
You have occupied many different roles in your life. Did you ever see yourself as Elle magazine cover girl? To be asked, you know, to do it and, you know, finding out I was doing it with a couple of my friends, it was such a fun experience. You have 3 women's hockey players on the cover of a fashion magazine, but we also have a Black woman and an Indigenous woman. Do you kind of measure the impact of that? Representation matters, and, you know, I can't, you know, say that enough. To show the young boys and girls that they can, you know, achieve anything that they set their mind to, and to have that exposure and show them that, you know, they too can, you know, one day even become a face of a magazine.
That's amazing. That magazine cover is incredible in so many different ways. Is there anything in the interview, Tara, that we won't get to see that really stood out to you?
Well, I mean, I definitely just think there, you know, the real depth of emotion. You know, Bridgette is a pretty stoic person, but she's really no holds barred. You know, she tells her story very willingly. She's had challenges off the ice in terms of confronting racism. So we had a lot of talks about that and how it affects her to see this on a daily basis still in the year 2021. So we got really deep, but of course it really is about empowerment.
Yeah, and the conversation is great. Everyone can check out the full interview. It's going to air later tonight on, of course, right before the game, right? For game, what do we have? Game 5 tonight? Is that what's happening? Islanders and Lightning. Yeah.
Every game's going to be a game 5 coming up. Yeah. It's the Islanders Tampa Bay Lightning game. Yeah. So it'll air in the Hockey Central pregame show.
Of course. And if you want to check it out as well, you can check out sportsnet.ca. NIPD is where you find it on there as well. Tara, good to see you. Thank you for bringing us these great stories as well.
Thank you so much. Make much.
All right, we'll see you soon. And coming up, we're going to tell you about a very special collaboration between magazines to bring authentic Indigenous voices into homes and schools across Canada. This is a great initiative here. And next up on BT, we are celebrating you. Birthdays and celebrations with Frankie. That's coming up next. Happy Monday, y'all.